Om Rim Shri Acharya Yeshuvajayasuri Namaha. Om Rim Shri Acharya Hemratnasuri Namaha. Om Rim Shri Acharya Shri Chandrasuri Namaha. Tadetanmanuష్yatvamapyati mudho mahamohamithyatvamayopagura brahmanduramagno bhavagadagarte punakah prapatye tadatbodhiratnam punakah prapatye tadatbodhiratnam. So today we are going to talk about the final bhavna, the 12th bhavna, which is Bodhi Durlabh Bhavna. The shlok from Shan Sudharas for Bodhi Durlabh Bhavna very beautifully explains what the Durlabhta, the rarity is of Bodhi. After lots of wandering, we get a human life, and even then, if we operate under the influence of mithyatva and maya, then we are digging a big hole for ourselves that will take us to life forms without a mind. So the 1-sensed to 4-sensed living beings don't have a developed mind. And that's what will happen if we are in mithyatva and maya. Mithyatva is delusion. We've talked about it several times. It's the main component of Mohaniya karma. And Maya is also a component of Mohaniya karma. Maya is deception. And this is mainly referring to deception to ourselves, which of course leads to deception of everything else. And if we are in that mode, even now, when we have this human birth, then when will we attain Samyaktva? When will we attain self-realization? So that's the question that Vinay Vijayji Mahopadhyay, Vinay Vijayji Maharaj Sahib is posing to us, that if we do not grab this opportunity that we have right now, when will we, wisen up? And we will be back into this Anant Pudgal Paravarth, the circles of life and death, and really not be able to leverage what we have right now. So that is what the Bodhi Durlabh Bhavna is about. We will go into more details of it. Before that, a quick recap of our previous Bhavna, last time's session, Dharma Prabhav Bhavna. So Dharma, as we explained in detail last time, is a way of living given to us by Prabhu and our gurus. It's a way of living with the goal of attaining happiness. For dharma to really take place, we need to rewire our instinct-driven mindset with a spiritual mindset. So our Sanya Vasit Man, we need to change it to Prabhu Agnya Vasit Man. Being dharma prabhavit truly enables dharma prabhavna. So we can become influencers. We can really do dharma prabhavna only if we ourselves are influenced and guided by dharma. Dharma is the means, dan, shil, tap. We talked about those, 4 types of dharma, dan, shil, tap, and bhav. So the dan, shil, tap are the means, and the bhav, the bhavna part, what we are learning here, and hopefully, imbibing here is what is the end goal of this, which is to experience our true nature, which is Gnan and Anand. Gnan is knowledge, Anand is bliss. The key ingredients of dharma are Maitri, Pramod, Karuna, and Madhyastha. Maitri is amity for all. Karuna is compassion. Pramod, Bhavna is having a bias for good in others, looking at the good in others. And Madhyastha is staying, still staying unwavered, being in equanimity, having samta within us. So all of these, are within us, and we, display these, at some point of time, once in a while, but we do not manifest it fully. This is not what we live by constantly. And why is that? Because since Anadi Kal, since infinite time, we have had Jeev Dvesh, and Pudgal Rag. And what Dharam is teaching us, what Dharam is all about, and what Prabhu's Agnya is, his commandment or his, um, you know, the rules he has set forth, is to reverse this, to have Jeev Maitri and Pudgal Tyag or Pudgal Anubhav Tyag. So those are, and if we do that, then we will be able to experience the Maitri, Pramod, Karuna, and Madhyastha within us to the fullest. So any questions on Dharma Prabhav Bhavna so far? Anything? Is it clear? Okay. Let's move on to Bodhi Durlabh Bhavna. Bodhi Durlabh. Bodhi is wisdom. Oops, sorry. Bodhi is wisdom, and Durlabh means rare. And what Bodhi Durlabh has been mentioned as is the rarest of rare things. There are four very, very rare things that Bhagwan Mahavir Swami mentioned in his last Deshna, in his very last Deshna on the night of Diwali. He mentioned these four, the rarest of rare. The first is Manushya Bhav, and this is extremely, extremely rare. Most of the time we are in Tiryansh Bhav, we are in the 1 to 5 sense living beings, and not in the human life, but as animals, as birds, as bugs, as water beings, as air beings, all of these other beings that we see around us. Those are the most common, the default kind of birth that we would get. And it's extremely, extremely rare in the Anant Pudkal Paravarth for us to get a Manushya Bhav. In the Shastras, the example is given that if a Dev were to, take some seeds and then, go all the way up on the top of the universe and sprinkle those seeds on the entire Manushya Lok, how much time would it take to gather all of them back together? So that's how rare the Manushya Bhav is. Many other examples like that. If we were to drop a Ratna, Bodhi Ratna is the kind of analogy given of a jewel. If we were to drop a jewel in the largest of largest ocean in this universe, how much time would it take for us to find it back again? That would be, how much time it would take for us to get the Manushya Bhav again. So along with the Manushya Bhav, that is of course extremely rare. Also, along with that, having well-developed senses, being able to, see, hear, all of that, and having a proper, well-formed body, all of these are important things for us to do our sadhana, right? So having all of this is also very, very rare. There are so many births that we have taken where we did not even complete all of, forming all of our senses and our body parts. And we died before that. So it's extremely rare what we have. And when you look at somebody who is physically challenged or mentally challenged, you can feel that. You can feel how difficult it is to live like that, what a challenge it is, and what we can truly appreciate what we have. Along with that, having birth in an Arya Desh or Arya community. Here I would say Arya is not necessarily just being born in India. Yes, of course it is a huge fortune if you are born in India, but it's not complete ill fortune if you are born here, as long as you have the right mindset. And Arya is defined in many shastras as somebody who believes in rebirth. If a person believes in rebirth, then they would be considered part of Arya community. Another way to describe Arya community is where there are Guru Bhagwant, where there are Panch Mahavratthari present, and we can communicate with them and we can get their guidance. So we do have that communication, and Jain Alert is all about that. Taking the guidance of Guru Maharaj Sahib and following the path. So we have all of this, right? We have Manushya Bhav, we have well-developed senses and a body. We have birth in an Arya community, if not, if you're not surrounded by or have not been in communication with Maharaj Sahib, but you're born in a Jain family, you have the genes. You have that in your, family and in the culture within your family. So all of these are rare things to get. After that, the rarest of rare thing is Jinvani. We might have been Jains, but we have never heard a pravachan from a Maharaj Sahib, or we've never had a chance to learn anything about Jainism. There are Jains like that. Um, and so, what we have going on right now, what we are discussing, Jinvani, is extremely rare. And then getting it from a true guru, that is even rarer, especially in these times. And we'll get into more details of who a true guru is, and why Bodhi is so durlabh, why it is so rare, because it's we are in a strange time. After all of this that we have, we might have all of these opportunities, but how many people join the session today, right? So how many people, I mean, I'm not saying those who did not join don't have the interest. It could be time, it's obviously we are all stretched for time. But in general, the WhatsApp group has what, 90 people, and the session has 9 people, or I don't know how many we have right now, whatever. But that interest to be able to listen and learn and then follow, and all of that taking us to the deeper levels of understanding, which is Samyaktva. As Samyaktva, we have discussed it before. It's the belief system. It's the right belief system, which means we align our belief system with that of the Kevri Bhagwans, and that leads to self-realization. Okay, so these are the rarest of rare things, and we have them. Then why is it? And it's not like, yes, Rishi.
So I guess one question that comes is, if it is so rare, right? So then what did we, the 15 of us here, then what did we do, right? Why did we get it, right?
Yeah, so
Why are we deserving of it? Are we?
that's a good question, whether we are all deserving of this Jinvani or not. We have to make ourselves deserving of it. But definitely, there is some sadhana that we have done in the past, which really brought us to this level, right? Why do we have this interest? Why do we like this so much? Or why do we set aside all the other priorities and make this a priority? It's Girish Bhai, that we learn Dharam from in his Swadhyay. He always says that Dharam is the last priority and first casualty. Okay, so everything comes first, but we have made this a priority, and that is because we have done this in the past. We have definitely done this in the past. And now we need to really push ourselves to go to that next level, because we have heard this before, we like it, but now we need to take it to the level of our astitva, of our existence, where actually we reside, where I am. And that's where we need to take this dharam, so that it will be with us. And that's what we need to do. That is, if we can do that with this 12 bhavna swadhyay that we have been doing together, if we can at least bring that interest within us, that this is what I want to do with everything that I learn about dharam, that would be the best, best learning or best takeaway. So we'll take it a little more further, Rishi, and I'll pose this question in every slide. Why has Bodhi been so elusive for us? Why is it so? Tell me, why do you think, or not just Rishi, everybody here, tell me why you think we have not reached this stage of Samyaktva so far? Why do any thoughts? Anyone? I mean, it's just feel free to share. Yes, Harsh.
Actually, recently I visited my friend in Raleigh, and I was discussing the same thing with him, like
Oh.
how fortunate we are. I mean, we did not take topic as a full rarest of rare, but we were mathematically, again, we are engineers, so we were mathematically analyzing equation. First of all, look at how many Jews are living around us. And out of all the Jews, if we count one Jew per leaf or a fruit or a bug, then see how many humans are living on the earth. Even though we think that 7 billion people are there, but if we consider all the living beings, then that number would be fraction of fraction.
Correct.
Then out of all the humans who are mentally capable of, or who have mental space to think about all these things, and
Mm.
once you have mental space to think about it, think about how many humans who actually believe or want to pursue on this path. And even though if you wish to pursue on that path, how many can actually do it in the at the implementation level? So I mean, it was not in a crisp format as it is put it here, as you are putting it here, but I think we were discussing this in the same spirit, and
I
it's
think
amazing that.
that's absolutely correct that, it's very, very few people really can grasp, even those that are, in the dharmic sphere. There are very, very few people who really get it. And it's a tough balance. It's not very easy to really zero in on what matters, even out of all the dharmic anushthan that are going on, kriyas that are going on, and especially in this world where we have kind of so many sects and so many groups and so many different things going on. Out of all of that, to really grasp what is the truth is difficult, and for the person to also have the interest for that. True. So we'll talk more about that. So since we were talking about different sects and different ways in which dharam is followed, I wanted to bring to all of you a very, very important point, and the first starting point of really getting bodhi, getting the wisdom. It's the We get the wisdom from the guru, because by ourselves we are always biased towards what we have done in the past. All of our innate behaviors, instinctive behaviors, those are the things that we are biased towards, and we always have soft corner towards ourselves. So it's absolutely necessary to have a guru to guide. It's very, very, very important. I cannot stress that more. It's extremely important. But then finding the right guru is a challenge these days. Yes, Soumya, you had a question.
Hello. Yeah, in our Jainism, there are multiple stories about people who are extremely ordinary, like let's say fishermen or someone sculptor like that. And like in those stories, it is they have been glorified that they had nothing but they got acharan of Jainism. So how is this? This bhavna related I know I haven't been throughout the lecture, but
That
I read that in the slides that it is only like the four like on it is accessible to the only four people having all the four skills, like all the four things.
Correct.
So
So yes, you are right that you don't need to be an engineer to have bodhi, right? You don't need to be born in a Jain family necessarily. In fact, Jainism goes to the extent of saying that even a non-Jain can go all the way up to becoming a Siddh Bhagwan, because just having a label of Jain, me having my last name as Jain doesn't make me Jain. That's very clearly said in our dharam, and very clearly mentioned. So it doesn't matter what type of background the person comes from, as long as they are able to accept Prabhu's Agnya, and able to accept Prabhu's Agnya, meaning able to accept the truth as it is, and then follow through. It doesn't matter what type of background they have. Of course, it helps a whole lot, right? So you can use the freeway, or you can use the local road to go somewhere. And if you use the freeway, you will get there faster, because you have an advantage. You don't have any stop signs, etc. If you take the other way, then it will take longer. So there are many pitfalls if you are not born in a Jain family. Um, many things are different, very, very subtle things. And when you come here as a student, especially those who are here as international students, will realize that even more. When you start, doing your stuff in the kitchen, when you start interacting with other people here, you realize what you have is extremely rare. The Jain values that you have from home. But yes, of course, that is not enough, right? So we have to take it further. So that's a great question, Soumya. So finding the true guru is extremely, extremely important in these times, because there are many people touting as gurus. Okay, I'll say this very openly. There are many people today touting as gurus. There are many people giving so-called dikshas, and they have nothing in them or in their organizations which has anything to do with Jain Dharma. But they are using the terminology of Jain Dharma. They are using the symbols of Jain Dharma. They are calling it Jain Sashan and all of that. So that's why there is a lot of confusion. And I would like to make sure that all of you as young Jains here clearly understand how to identify a true guru. And the way to identify is the default things that they should have is Panch Mahavrat, right? So they should have the five great vows, and they should have the highest level of charitra. In our dharam, there are exceptions. There could be exceptions for health reasons or other reasons in many other vows, but not in the fourth vow. In Brahmacharya, there can be no exception. There is no upvad mark in that. Okay, so those are default things that need to be there. Now, even after some people, there are some groups, and there are some leaders these days who look like they have taken Panch Mahavrat but don't really follow through. So you need to really know whether they are following the highest level of charitra or not. You need to do your investigation first. That is important. And it's not wrong for you as a Shravak or a budding Shravak to ask questions. Okay, it's not wrong. We have never in Jainism have we said no questions. There should be samarpan, there should be guru samarpan, but after you identify who the guru is and to the right guru, there cannot be blind faith. There is no blind faith in Jainism. So the first thing we need to look for is whether they are enlightened or self-realized. And it's difficult, because we don't have self-realization ourselves. So how are we going to look for it? But there are some external cues. There are some cues where, you can figure out that this person, has something special. Things like, they don't have extreme kashayas, or they're not pampering their egos, um, or they have compassion for all living beings, for every person, whether they are rich or poor or good looking or not good looking, whatever. Okay, so those kind of things will tell you that yes, this person does have atmagnan, and they are focused within. They are not constantly focused outside. They might be interacting with a lot of people. It doesn't mean that they are not in society and they're not dealing with it. They might be dealing with huge number of people on a daily basis. Their doors are always open, right? Maharaj sites always have their doors open, so there's constant interaction. But still, within all of those interactions, their focus is within themselves. They are not like concerned about, okay, so what are you doing today and how are you and all of those kind of things, right? Then they also view others as equal. So how do we see the status of a person? By how they treat others, right? In a general, that's a general rule, not just for a guru, but anybody. So that should be there. They should be viewing every jeev as an atma and treating them accordingly. Then the third lakshan is actions without doership. So if they are about me, I have done this, I am doing this, I will do this, all of that kind of me stuff, if that's all they are concerned about, and that's how they, project everything that they do, then it's a red flag. So everything is guided by Prabhu and by their guru. How much do they respect their guru? That's really important to see. Okay. And the fourth would be Shastra Bodh. They have actually experienced what they are saying. They are walking the talk. And it is not like, I talk about something and I have not really felt it, I have not experienced it. So it's one thing to say that, Bhagwan is Karunamay, one should be Karunamay, but then actually feeling it within and having that for each and every jeev, any quality like that, any concept that they are talking about, they should have actually experienced it. When they say that sansar ma kai nathi, then they should actually feel that way, right? So if they are taking interest in sansar, and if they are talking about sansar thi virakti and those kind of things, then it's completely opposite. So there are many, I have put on this slide examples of. Yes, somebody has a
Kevin
question.
mentioned that he's glad that you brought it up. So I don't know if you want to say something more,
Yeah, Kevin, you want to share something here?
or otherwise, I mean, yeah, that's good that you.
I mean, I wanted to say something, but it's kind of inappropriate to put out or point out someone's name. But I had like pretty similar, like almost same experience that you just mentioned for the Kuguru. Last Saturday, I went somewhere in the some event, and one person who is claiming themselves as like Jain sadhu, they are saying themselves sadhu, but they are saying that we are not panch mahavrat sadhu, but we are still sadhu, and they are taking everyone as like dikshit, and they are uh, taking people as they are atmarpit or dikshit, and they are using all the sansari things,
Yes,
all the materials that you see, Apple Watch and everything. They even don't abandon cheese, kulfi, this kind of thing, and they don't even like, they say that we are celebrating Paryushan, but on the Paryushan day they are not even doing chavyar, and they are not even so this kind of thing really disturbed me very badly, because not because of them, but I would say thousands of people are following them. They
Hmm.
are
that's
calling them themselves as Jain. They are saying that we are following Jainism path. So
yes.
this,
It's
like
a
for
very
2 days I was
confusing.
very disturbed.
Yes, yes, yeah, Kevin, thank you very much for bringing that up, because that was my trigger actually to talk about this. Okay, so if somebody is giving dikshas and applying mehndi on the diksharthi's hands, and applying PT and doing all that kind of nonsense, run away, run away before they do any of their magic on you. Run away. Because we have so many other true sadhu sadhvijis, really. And Kevin, just to point out that here this was an extreme case, and you could tell the difference, between the right and wrong. It was obvious, but sometimes it may not be that obvious. They might be in the garb of sadhus, okay, and they look like they are following everything, but when you go deeper, and when you look deeper and find out about what exactly they are involved in, and all of their background and things like that, then it's shocking. And there are people following, and it's sad, because there are so many people that go in there just because they are part of another group or a network, and friends tell them, why don't you just come along, see if you like it, that kind of stuff. So these are cults. Stay away from these cults. We have so many other choices. We have so many other Sadgurus. And I want to say this in a non-sectarian way, because I talk to my Digambar, friends. I talk to my Sanakwasi friends and Murti Pujak friends, all of them. And I got names of gurus that are genuine, that they know very well inside out, that these people are completely within their soul. They have no other ulterior motives. So there are so many examples, and I just put a few here. It's not like these are the ones you should follow. I should have mentioned also Labdivalab Maharaj Sahib, Harsh's
It's
Guru
there.
Maharaj Sahib. Hmm?
It's there.
Oh, you put it there. Okay, good. So and many others. There are so many in each sect. And these are the core sects. If somebody is starting a new sect, run away, because there is no other new sect. These are the core sects. They are still following, the agam. They are still following the main principles, without cutting corners. Yes, Harsh.
Actually, I listened to my Gurudev Shri and he mentioned one thing. Wherever you see that Guru's importance is getting much more higher than Paramatma's importance, you should run away from that place, because
Yes,
when the Dev's importance should be at the utmost priority.
absolutely.
Guru connects us with the Dev, Paramatma. So
That's a great point. Yes, that's again a very big red flag. Definitely. Okay. So, all right, getting this out of the way, all of the negative stuff. Let's go into, um, why is Bodhi still elusive? So we can watch a clip here. Do we have time? I don't know. I think we're.
Yes. So I'll have to share again. We are coming to an end, but we could not master the art of Zoom.
I could not.
Hold shift.
Oh, okay.
So here people are doing that. Okay, and
Big screen.
maximize.
डिजायर्स का नाश, हाँ चेतना, यह संसार का सत्य यानी कि संसार में कोई सार नहीं है, ऐसा अनुभव होता है, तभी वैराग्य प्रकट होता है। तो क्या इस संसार में कोई सार नहीं? There is nothing good in this संसार। हाँ, यही तो मोह का जाल है। अनंत काल से मोह माया ने हमें इसी तरह भ्रमित किया है। Vairagya is the way to correct the mistakes of infinite lifetimes. वैराग्य यानी पर पदार्थ पर तीव्र अनास्था। पर की तीव्र अनास्था? Yes, it is the strong conviction that nothing outside of my own self can give me happiness. Material things, other people do not have the potential to make me happy. फिर तो दीक्षा के सिवा कोई ऑल्टरनेटिव ही नहीं है, राइट? नहीं चेतना, दीक्षा के अलावा मन का मुंडन नेसेसरी है। विषयों का मुंडन और कषायों का लॉन्च करना है। The aspirant is in the world physically, but the world is not in the aspirant's mind. साधक संसार में रह सकता है, लेकिन संसार साधक में नहीं रहता।
सर्किट, ये विषय कषाय कौन? भाई कषाय बोले तो वो एंगर, ग्रीड, ईगो, डिसेप्शन, वही सब कुछ। और विषय बोले तो? विषय बोले तो वो टच, टेस्ट, सुनने का, देखने का, सुनने का, वही सब कुछ जो माइंड और बॉडी को अच्छा लगता है ना, वही सब कुछ होता है भाई।
वैराग्य को बढ़ाने के लिए हम प्रैक्टिकली क्या कर सकते हैं? ज्ञानी पुरुषों ने सत्संग पर बहुत भार दिया है और वो हम प्रैक्टिकली देख सकते हैं। अगर कोई टीनेजर अल्कोहलिक के साथ फ्रेंडशिप कर ले तो उससे अल्कोहल से बचाना ऑलमोस्ट इम्पॉसिबल हो जाएगा। तो हमें ऐसे ग्रुप्स, ऐसे फ्रेंड्स रखने चाहिए जो हमें याद दिलाते रहें कि सत्य क्या है।
ए मामू, ये तो सीधा अपन पर अटैक कर रही है। ए भाई, दिल पे नहीं लेने का। हाँ, बट इसकी बात में वजन है। शायद ये सच बोल रही है।
But Bhakti, I do have friends and social groups. We do get together regularly. मेरे friends तो बहुत हैं, and they're all good people. जब रूप हो, status हो, पैसा हो, तब लोग तो मधुमक्खी की तरह तुम्हारे आसपास घूमते रहेंगे। मैं तो सत्संग करने का कह रही हूँ। वैसे फ्रेंड्स, वैसे ग्रुप से जुड़े रहना चाहिए जिनका इंटरेस्ट सत्य समझने में हो, यानी कि धर्म में हो। Not just friends who themselves do not know what their true purpose in life is, and they just want to enjoy at your expense, चेतना। अच्छा विद्या, अब तुम बताओ तुम्हारे बारे में। नित्य सूच्य आत्मता क्या तेरा नित्य सूच्य.
Pause and then stop share. We'll have to share
Stop
it.
sharing.
Yes. Any questions on the clip? It's actually from a movie that we had made several years ago, and we could not get it to like play the exact. So some of the context may not be that apparent, but the idea was we were using like the Munna Bhai and circuit characters to convey the essence of Dharam. So it's actually a good movie. It's on YouTube. Would recommend everybody to watch. So coming back to why Bodhi is Durlabh, or why Bodhi has been elusive for us. So there are several ways in which knowledge is classified. One of the classification is these three types: Shud, Chintan, and Bhavna. So essentially, you can think of Shud as understanding at the first level of understanding. So basically getting to know something, right? So for example, we'll say getting to know the recipe of something. Then Chintan would be to, once you have the recipe, then you can figure out, right, like, hey, these are the ingredients that I would want. And for example, if they are saying something in, you need, I don't know, XYZ, like maybe potato, and they say, hey, I can't eat potatoes, so what can I replace it? So taking it, basically processing it further, that's the next level, that is the Chintan or understanding level. And then the most important one is the level of bhavna or level of anubhav, the feeling level, the emotional level, the level at which it touches us, and the level at which we realize it. So obviously, no matter how many recipes we look at or read about or know about, right, at the end of the day, it won't matter. It's not going to satiate us in any form. So this is actually on the right side, the shlok from Vinyansa Rashtak, and it's Mahamopadhyay Yashovijayaji has very nicely and easy to understand manner, right? Like anybody can understand that no matter how many, like our knowledge of scriptures, our knowledge of dharam, when we just have the Shrut level of knowledge, or even the understanding level of knowledge, that's kind of like a spoon that is used by the chef to make, for example, pudding, or I guess, for example, soup, or in this case, the kheer. So no matter how many times the chef would stir, right, but they are not getting they are not getting to eat a single piece of it, or they're not getting to taste a single drop of it. So unless and until we get experience, all of this is not really that useful. So basically, the goal of the knowledge is to take us to the experience level. That's the reason why we should do anything. That's the reason why we should do everything. So it starts with knowing, like, hey, what did Bhagwan say, right? And then thinking more about it, but then taking it to the experience level. And so experience word itself, experiencing oneself, right? So we use the word self-realization for that. So that actually is the synonym of Bodhi. But here we can even have partial, like, you don't, like, even if it impacts us, right? So for example, like, just another, like, we took the recipe example, but taking the example, like, hey, we have been doing this 12 bhavnas. So we threw a lot of words, we ourselves used a lot of words, and we threw a lot of words at you. We got some understanding of it, and hopefully you guys also got some understanding of it. So now the $1 billion question is, did we take it to the experience level? Did we take it to the anubhav level? Meaning, like, did any of it, we started with Anitya, we talked about the calculus of happiness, we talked about Asharan, Sansar Bhavna. So if it does not impact anything to me, like if there is no transformation, basically that's another way to think about it, right? Like if I am the same person that I was 12 weeks ago, then really we just were the chef who was stirring for 12 weeks and then gave the pudding to Harshbhai and he gets to eat everything. So hopefully that's not the case for us, and if it is, then also it's not too late. But actually we kind of are thinking it's we are making a little bit funny. But if we think about it more seriously, that's really the reason why Bodhi has been elusive. So it's not like there have been times when we were born as human beings. There were times when we got even Bhagwan's Vani, like we even went to Samvasaran. So what can be more closer to getting the Vani than going to Samvasaran? But even then, it just stayed at the information level. It did not penetrate to the feeling level. So here we have some more some technical terms, but hopefully it's not too hard to understand. So for self-realization or for Bodhi, the two important terms are Bhed Gyaan and Granthi Bhed. So Bhed Gyaan is the process. So basically that's, and we have talked about it in other bhavnas too, especially in Anyatva Bhavna, Ekatva Bhavna. So the whole entire Jainism is based on this. Who am I and who am I not? So doing the discrimination. So because we don't know who we are, we have to start with who we are not. So that's a little bit easy. It's tangible for us, right? So whatever we see, it's easy. We can at least start saying, hey, I'm not this body. I'm not the money that I have in the bank. I'm not the relatives that I have. I'm not those. So all that discrimination. So Bhed Gyaan is basically discriminating who I'm not and who once we start doing that and take it to the deeper and deeper levels, then we can reach that level which is called Granthi Bhed. So the Granthi is so it's literally it means knot, and it's basically one can understand, right, that hey, if you have like if I take ropes and ropes and ropes and then keep tying them, entangling them, right, then it's very hard to disentangle. So in all our lives, the one thing that we have done is we have strongly identified ourselves with whatever dress we were wearing, meaning in whatever body we were born in. So if I was born as an ant, I took myself as an ant. If I was born as an elephant, I took myself to be an elephant. If I was born as a heavenly celestial being, I took myself to be a. So that is the knot that we have, and then the behaviors appropriately to those, and essentially even those we have boiled down to the four core ones, the sannyas. So that's what we have done in our infinite lifetimes, and that's the knot that is now become so intertwined and so hard to untangle. That's why we need the Jnana of Bhagwan, but we need the Jnana of Bhagwan with this purpose. So that the purpose was lacking before. That's something we have not done before. Why am I doing this, and how it can benefit me, and how it can take me? So once we dissociate that, once we untie the knot, that is called the Granthi Bhed, and then the next instant after that is essentially experiencing oneself. So that's the self-realization. Hopefully was not too hard, and if anybody has so that's where we need to take dharam. That's where we have not taken dharam in any of our previous lives, no matter what. Even when we took diksha, and it's not like we have not become monks, even Jain monks before, but the same mistake we have done is we did not take dharam to the anubhav level. You want to go to next?
So let's try to go a little bit deeper today. and let's do this bit of a thought experiment. We believe, I think all of you here believe that the teachings of Bhagwan are correct, right? Everyone believes that they are true. I hope that's, after talking about it for so long, I'm sure that much is clear. And maybe, even before you joined these sessions, you at least had some, understanding and knew that, yes, what Bhagwan is saying is true. But how is Dharam beneficial to us? How is it beneficial to me? And what does Dharam give? Who wants to attempt an answer? What do you think is the benefit of Dharam? What are we getting from it?
Everybody should answer one
Yes,
word each.
actually, I would really
Guidance,
everyone can participate.
Sorry,
Who
we
was
could
that?
not hear you, Ansh. Go ahead.
guidance,
Guidance, okay. Anyone else?
Purpose.
Purpose, very good. Guidance, purpose, those are good.
Self-control.
Self-control, yes, Parth. Nice.
An explanation of life,
Sorry?
like an explanation of what's happening to us.
Explanation of what's happening to us. Okay, so making sense of what is around us and what is the reality. Okay.
Confidence.
Confidence, Tanisha. Okay, good, nice.
joy,
Akshay?
joy,
Joy. Wow. Yes. Anyone else?
Yeah, Soumya mentioned in the chat Samyak Darshan.
Samyak Darshan. Okay. So, yes, all of you are right. Dharam gives us all of this. In fact, Dharma is mentioned as a kalpadrum. So, it's a wish-fulfilling tree. You will get whatever you wish for. The most important thing here, though, is looking at the benefits, because we don't see, we say all of these things, and hopefully we are going in that direction to see that benefit from Dharam. But until we see that benefit from Dharam, even though we believe that what Prabhu said is true, we don't believe in what Dharam is actually giving us. We don't see the true benefit of it. If we can associate Dharam with the joy, with the confidence, with the making sense of reality, and also what we have mentioned throughout all of the bhavnas, knowing ourselves and giving ourselves a sense of purpose, all of those things, if we can associate Dharam with that, if we can not just associate in words and in these sessions, but actually feel that and believe that, then Bodhi is not Durlabh. It's actually not that difficult, right? It's just, setting our belief system, aligning it in the right direction, orienting ourselves in that direction is all we need to do. And then, and there are very immediate, like a lot of people would say, Dharam will give us a good life in the next life, and it will give us, punya, and it will give us all of these, we won't go to durgati, all of those things. Those are very long-term things, right? And we live in a world where, things we want right away. We want instant gratification. What is the instant thing that you get from Dharam? What is something like an immediate benefit? Anyone? Anything that you actually experienced, while doing these sessions or while contemplating on any of these bhavnas? Hopefully you guys did that. What is the immediate thing?
Stress-free life.
What's that, Harsh? I could not hear you.
Stress-free life.
Stress-free life. Okay. Yes, the calmness, the stress-free life. Great. Yes, Suvidhi.
Sense of freedom. Like
Sense of
immediately you feel like relieved of all the problems. You get a purpose, start feeling
Correct.
happy.
Yes, yes. So, Anand Kanji Maharaj Sahib was a great Maharaj Sahib. He mentioned he has written 24 stavans, and more stavans, but 24 famous stavans of our 24 Bhagwan. And his very first stavan, he talks about what is the purpose of puja, or what is the most immediate first benefit that you get by doing puja, or, doing bhakti, or any of the dharma anushtan. It's chit prasannata. It's just this calmness, this feeling good. And that is an immediate benefit. And you won't get that anywhere else. Everything else will be pulling at your senses, will be stimulating your senses, will be, constantly making you hungry, making you want more. And this is the only place where you can set aside all of that and just be. So that is the short-term goal. Long-term, many goals. Many things, right? If we get Samyak Darshan, the promise of Bhagwan, the promise of gurus is that we can never go to Durgati in the presence of Samyaktva. A Samyaktvi Jeev can never go to Narki, can never go to, Tiryansh Gati. So it's a huge long-term benefit. And only if we are in Manushya Gati, as you know, it's a rare Gati, but we can get Manushya Gati if we have Samyaktva, if we can get Dev Gati, and if we have Samyaktva, then we will keep going in the right direction. So, this is the long-term benefit. So one of the things we need to ask ourselves, and this quote is from Labdi Vallabh Maharaj Sahib's recent Vachna, જે પરમાત્માની આજ્ઞાના માધ્યમે સુખનું અનુસંધાન કરી ન શકે એ આજ્ઞા પામ્યા જ નથી. So if we cannot connect dharam with sukh, with happiness, with joy, then we have just not understood what Bhagwan is telling us to do. All Bhagwan is saying is be happy. That's all Bhagwan is telling us, and that is the Agnya. And if we go with that, of course, the happiness, is not the ill-defined happiness that we know, but the happiness that Bhagwan is promising is everlasting. And, all of the other conditions we've mentioned before, it's not dependent on anything else. So the first thing we need to do is understand that Jinagnya is fun. It's something that we should enjoy. We can enjoy it. We just don't know how to, and we want to give it a chance, right? So today, being the Moksha Kalyanak of Parshvanath Bhagwan, let's dive into our dhyan meditation today with the purpose of praying to Bhagwan and asking for Bodhi. In the Uvasagahanam Stotra, this picture that you see on your screen is Samet Shikharji. That's the location where Parshvanath Bhagwan got, moksha. That's the Moksha Kalyanak Bhumi. And these are his, footprints in the mandir. So, as you know, that when a jeev, destroys all of their karma and they attain siddhood, they immediately go in a straight line. We have talked about that, right? To the top of the universe. So the very spot that they were doing the Kayotsak Dhyan and the final Shukla Dhyan, that's the spot from which the straight line goes all the way up to the top of the universe. And that's why those vibrations, those very strong vibrations, that's the reason why we go to Tirth. So those strong vibrations are, there and in that area. And in a very, they're all over the universe, but they are more concentrated in these Tirths. So let's sit down in a comfortable position, cross-legged if possible, and back straight. So what I will recite first is the Uvasagaram Stotra, and in that, in the end, the last line is praying that Bhagwan gives us this Bodhi Ratna in every life. Uvasagaram Pasam vandami kammaganamukam Visahara Visaninnasam Mangala Kalyan Avasam Visahara Fulingamantam Kanthe Dhare Josaya Manuo Tassagaharo Bimari Tuttha-jarajanti uvasamam. Chittau dure manto. Tuzza pranamo vibahu falo hoi. Naratiriye suvijiva. Pavanti na dukkha dogacham. Tuha sammatte ladhe. Chintamani kappapaya vabhahye. Pavanti avikhenam. Jiva airamaram thanam. Iya santuo mahayasa. Bhakti bhara nibharena hyaena. Tadev dijbohim. Bhave bhave pasajina chanda. Tadev dijbohim. Bhave bhave pasajina chanda. Tadev dijbohim. Bhave bhave pasajina chanda. Bring your attention in the middle of your two eyebrows on your Ajna chakra and place those lotus feet of Parshvanath Prabhu on your Ajna chakra. Imagine the feet of Bhagwan on your Ajna chakra. And take a deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out very slowly. Gurudev Shri calls this the Bhav Pranayam. We breathe in all of the positive vibrations that all of the Siddh Bhagwan, all of the Arihant Bhagwan, and especially today on the Kalyanak Tithi of Parshvanath Bhagwan, all of these great souls spread their pure vibrations all around this entire universe. Breathe them in and breathe out all of your preconceived notions, your sangnya, your hatagra, all of your preconceived notions that we have held on to so tightly as ours. All of the delusionary thoughts, let go of them. Be in the present moment as you breathe in and breathe out. You have this rarest of rare human birth with a mind that is powerful, that can do chintan, that can do manan, that can go within and reflect. You did not have this possibility in other bhavs. In Narki, you were just trying to avoid all of the atrocities and the dangers around you. In Tiryansh Bhav, as birds, as animals, you were just running around searching for food all day, trying to escape and not become a prey and food for somebody else. Infinite lifetimes like this have gone. Today you have Manushya Bhav, you have all of the senses, you have a mind. You have access to true gurus and their knowledge and blessings. You have access to learn about what Bhagwan said, what he recommended. He shared everything with us. Mahavir Swami just opened out his entire book of his past and last life. Everything. He did not hide anything from us. And he shared all of the pitfalls, all of his mistakes, how he himself lost Samyaktva even after being the grandson, great-grandson of Rishabdev Bhagwan. And his Agnya to us is not to make those same mistakes. So we breathe in the confidence and the courage that he spread as Mahavir. And we breathe out all of our fears, all of our, how will I fit into this group, all of those kind of weak thoughts. Let's be courageous, like Prabhu wants us to be. He is like that adult lion that showed the cub who he truly is and taught him to roar. Continue your focus on your breathing and on your Agnya Chakra. Now we will start our jap of Tithera me Pasyantu. O Bhagwan, shower your blessings on me so that I can make this bhav memorable, something I have never done in the past. Listen to your Agnya, follow your Agnya, and believe in it 100%. I may not be able to follow all of it right away, but what is stopping us from believing it? Let's take Bhagwan's blessings.
Tithera me pasyantu, 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 Tithera me pasyantu.
Now continue this jap of Tithera me pasyanto within you quietly. Let all of the words resound within you. You can visualize the words Tithera me pasyanto on your Agnya chakra. That will help you focus even more. So after this Bhasya jap that we did, we do this Manas jap for 2 minutes. Only Tithera me pasyanto, no other thoughts, nothing else. Jap helps us be in the present moment and remove any other thoughts, any other feelings, anything else. Try to do it faster in your mind. Faster and faster. Tithera me pasyanto. Nothing else in between. Tithera me pasyanto. All the 24 Bhagwans, shower your blessings on me. Now slowly let go of that jap. Force a smile on your face. Sit like Bhagwan sits. Enjoy the inner bliss, the joy. Only the present moment. No other thoughts, nothing else. Just hold the present moment. Be with it. The moment will not come back. We have never been this still in any bhav. Constantly running around. Constantly trying to do different tasks. Checking off our checklists. Even when we are in Derasar, even when we are in Sthanak, even when we are at a Tirth Yatra, we are just checking our lists. Today we just want to be. Just as Bhagwan wants us to be. One more minute. Complete silence, peace, and bliss. Now you may slowly open your eyes. Tithera me pasyanto. Tithera me pasyanto. Tithera me pasyanto. Shivamastu sarva jagata parahita nirta bhavantu bhutagana dosha prayantu nasham sarvatra sukhi bhavantu lokaha sarva mangala mangalyam sarva kalyana karanam pradhanam sarva dharmanam jainam jayati shasham. If I said anything against Jinatnya, then Vishami Dukram. I want to applaud all of you for attending all of these sessions, participating in them. I cannot tell you how impressed I am by all of you, really, that you choose this over everything else that you have going around, in this world. It's really, really commendable. What you are doing, the interest that you have, the ruchi that you have in dharam, I really, really appreciate it. I'm truly impressed. Everyone has this negative thought about the new generation and not being interested in dharam and all of that, but I see this interest in all of you, and it's just so refreshing. It's so nice, and all of you are like a clean slate. It's easier to talk to all of you than to talk to people who have been doing dharam for a long, long, long time, because they're so stuck in the ways that they know what dharam is, and it's just really nice to interact with all of you. I really enjoyed it. I do want to mention, and I should have said this earlier, the dhyana abhyas that we are doing is just a practice. It's just a guideline for you. Nobody can teach you how to meditate. Nobody. You have to, it's something that comes from within. You do it, and you realize it, you find your way to do it. So you can get some guidance, but it's not something that this is the method. Okay. So and dhyan is a much, much higher level than what we are, what we have been doing is just an abhyas, just a practice. It's just something that we are trying. It's not the actual dhyan. That's something that comes with a lot of practice over and over time, and you completely going within yourself and experiencing yourself. But hopefully you like the taste of this, and hopefully you like the anubhav, so you would want more, right? All right. Thank you for the opportunity from Jain Alert. Thank you, Harsh and Rishi and everyone. Really appreciate the opportunity to learn. I hope and wish that all of us get Samyak Darshan and all of us do sadhana together in every bhav.
Thank you, Neha Bhabi. So right now, if you cannot hear, you cannot see, but we have a very big storm coming out outside my window right now in Michigan. But in where we are right now, we are obviously safe, right? Relatively safe. And I think everybody will agree with me, right? In the storm of kind of sansar of the life that we're living, kind of, right, with all these things going on, this 1 hour a week, 1.5 hour, whatever it is, plus the 10-15 minutes of dhyan during, twice a week, right? That is that relative safety that we feel, throughout inside of that storm. And I think everybody will agree, to that experience. And it's all thanks to you, all of your efforts, immense. I mean, everybody else who's here who's not had, maybe you might not know, but the amount of effort they've put is, is unparalleled. And so thank you so much. There's no words that we can really describe how grateful we are. We hope in the future we'll get your lab again at some point. But we'll discuss that later.
Everything that I have really said is, and what Rakesh has shared is from, gurus. So it's nothing, and hopefully I have not been talking in these sessions. I was telling Harsh the other day, hopefully it's not me talking here, and hopefully I'm talking, on behalf of all of the Guru Bhagwans that we have been blessed with to learn from. So if there was any mistake, I truly apologize for that. That was my mistake, and nothing to do with what the Guru Bhagwans have shared. So, and I really wish all of you that you can continue this practice You can listen to the meditations, the meditation dhyan. We're calling it meditation, but it's dhyan abhyas. So hopefully you can continue that practice on a daily basis. It just takes a few minutes, and it will give you at least the immediate peace that you have experienced during these sessions. So continue them, and during Paryushan, hope all of you can contemplate on everything that we've been talking about, and the Dharma can be even more enjoyable wherever you are, right? In whichever sung. I wish all of you could come over. I really, and this is an open invitation, seriously, all of you. Rishi has been with us, for a day or two, I think. And Harsh, comes over, quite often because he's here local. But all of you, wherever you are most welcome to come stay with us, and I'll definitely make some kheer. I won't just show you a picture. I was telling Rakesh, you're showing them this picture, that doesn't, pota thi kahin pet nahi bhara hai. So, it's an open invitation to all of you, okay? Yes, and Anish, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to say something. We were talking like this class about like direct experience of like Dharma. And I just want to share with like a recent event that happened to me. So actually this weekend, last week, one of my high school friends, she got into a head-on collision and she died on the spot.
Oh my
And
God.
I'm saying this because like I didn't really know her that well, like after high school, but yesterday I attended like the funeral. And like of all the books that I've read, like I like to read all the religious books and everything, like all the scriptures, but just by seeing her body there, it didn't, like, no book can describe that. It's like not even possible. So
Oh my God. Yes, I mean these are experiences that and in a lot of books, in a lot of scriptures. In fact, in a part of this Bodhi Durlabh Bhavna, I was referring to a couple of books. They talk about how our Vairagya, is so fleeting. Like we are shaken up by certain incidents, and then we just forget about it. We move on with life. But if we have to really learn something, we should take those incidents, like the one you mentioned. It's obviously something shocking and something unexpected. But if we can remember those and keep that in front of our minds, and not just when we attend a funeral, not just see the other person's body, but see ourselves there, and watch how all the other relatives around us, are crying and all of that, and take it further and imagine what they would start doing the next day and the day after that, and a few months later. People move on, right? And right now we hold on to all of this, we cling on to all of this, like this is going to be here forever, and we are going to be here forever. So all of the anything that you feel like you need to forgive somebody, you need to say sorry to someone, do it right away. Don't wait. Really, I mean, it feels so good after you've kind of cleaned your heart completely. It just feels very good. So especially during Paryushan, I mean, we make it just like a ritual to say Michhami Dukram, but do it from the heart. And call, if they are not close by, just call whoever it is. If you've had any um, fight with anyone or argument with anyone, just let it go, because it cannot be that important. Sorry to hear about your friend, and hopefully she or he, I'm sorry, I did not catch she. Yeah, so hopefully she gets sadgati, and hopefully she gets sharana of Bhagwan. That's part of sansar. But yes, when we face these situations, that's when these bhavnas come handy, and we can relate to them. And anubhav, there's nothing that can replace anubhav. You're right. All right, I think we've gone way over time in this last one. At least, it's the last one, so no longer you'll have to be up very late on Thursday nights.